Beyond, my name is Colin Moriarty. I'm senior editor here at IGN. I'm here with Andrew Goldfarb. He's our news editor.
Beyond.
And I love him so much. Let me give him a little hug.
Oh, you.
We just got back from E3. We saw a bunch of PlayStation games and other kinds of games. I basically lived at PlayStation's booth for 3 days because I cover PlayStation here at IGN. Goldfarb got kind of a different kind of experience, but we're going to talk about a PlayStation 3 exclusive, specifically Beyond. Two Souls. Beyond, named after podcast Beyond. Of course.
Beyond.
You can listen to that every Tuesday on IGN. So Beyond Two Souls is the new game from Quantic Dream. You might know Quantic Dream from Heavy Rain, which came out a few years ago, PS3 exclusive, about a guy named Ethan Mars and his son is kidnapped and blah, 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 blah.
Cuts off his finger.
Yeah, there's a whole, you should play it if you haven't played it. Anyway, the game was well known for telling a real, interactive drama is what Quantic Dream calls it. It's basically a game that you don't play so much as you experience, and the gameplay was a little stiff. It's very quick time event heavy, but people really liked it because of how good the story was. And so their next game is heavily anticipated because of these very things. But Goldfarb, there might be something wrong with Beyond Two Souls.
There might be, and it might be the controls. So we played, you played the same demo I did, with Somalia?
Oh, so so I stepped up to play Somalia, and Aiden is this character in the game, the spirit character,
the
who
ghost.
controls like an airplane kind of when you're moving him around. And since I play inverted, I can't play the game. This will be fixed on the final copy of the game, but I couldn't play the demo because you can't invert the controls. Goldfarb?
Yeah, so it's a little weird. You have Jodie, who's Ellen Page, the character most people have seen, and then you have Aiden, who is this ghost companion that she has. And each of them has their own control set. Both are a little weird. Aiden use the triggers to move him up and down. So it's like the right trigger moves him down and the right bumper moves him up. And then to lock onto an enemy, I believe you hold the left bumper. And then to do an attack, you have to hold that button and then move the analog sticks in opposite directions or towards each other. It's just weird. Yeah, it's really confusing. And then Jodie has her own set of problems, which is that she, like you stick to cover and you have to hit a button to remove yourself from that cover, and the camera's facing you. So it's like at any given moment, like when you're trying to get away from somebody, you can't really tell where the hell you are, and there's like kind of spatial problems. And like the voice acting in the game is incredible. It's the performances we wanted. The scenario, I don't know if we want to spoil what's going on in that demo, but the scenario itself is a little weird. It's not at all what I thought the game was going to be about. But I trust in David Cage enough that it'll fit into the larger story. But man, the controls are messy. That's something I really hope they fix before that game is out. So
my major concern with the game, not controls withstanding, because I wasn't really able to play it.
Sure.
I did see the demo being played in full behind closed doors, and what I'm really concerned about with Beyond Two Souls is that it just seems unfocused, and I don't really know what the game's about anymore, because when we first saw it at E3 last year, it was about this girl, that had this ghost companion. That it was like a supernatural game, and they showed this scene
was on the run. Like it seemed like the Willem Dafoe stuff. Like maybe some experiments had been done to her, and she was trying to get away from these people. Whereas now it's like, so she's working for the CIA, and she has a friend in Somalia, but then he ends up not being her friend because she kills a dude. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's just all over the place.
I just don't understand, all right, so Heavy Rain was like really focused, I think. I think Heavy Rain was like really focused. It was in this one town, few days, this murder mystery basically, right?
Yeah.
And you really got to know and enjoy the characters. You got to play as Ethan Mars and really experience certain things, lots of different endings, different scenarios. And we know the script of Beyond Two Souls is huge. It's like 2,000 pages long, so it's going to be very similar. They said it took 174 days, I think, to film everything in the game. So there's a lot of content in the game, but I just don't understand where the story is going. There's two parts of, I'm of two minds with this. One is they're showing way too much. We know the game takes place over 15 years, but they're showing her childhood. I don't really want to see some of these things. I want to kind of go into it fresh, and it seems like they're showing a lot of different stuff. My other concern is that I just don't understand if the game scales this long, from 3 days in Heavy Rain or whatever, or 4 days to 15 years, and the game length might be similar. Are we going to get like a really cohesive story that's really interesting? That's more my major concern, because Heavy Rain didn't control well. People forgave it for that. So maybe we're being too critical.
So number one, this is beyond not controlling well. This is it is a mess, and I mean the camera's a big part of that too. Like it needs to be fixed. It is bad enough that I think it's borderline unplayable for me personally. I don't know if everyone will feel that way, but it was like very, very difficult to control it. And number two, like Heavy Rain, it has some weird stuff, right? Obviously, there's some things that are atypical.
Putting the plates down and slamming them on the
exactly.
table.
Well, even story-wise, like there are a ton of weird things in Heavy Rain, but at its core, the kind of elevator pitch of what that game is easy to relate to, easy to understand. Obviously, people can understand a father-son bond. People understand what a serial killer is. Like people understand the basics of that game. Beyond is so far from that. It's about a girl and her bond with a ghost, and she's been experimented on, and it's like there's already such a weird barrier to entry that you have to make it accessible, you know, for people to want to play your game. Because the story can be amazing, but like if nobody is inclined to check out that story, it can't be very effective. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like they need to work on just making sure that people are able to, you know, like be interested in this game and get absorbed in the story. Because otherwise, it's like all these amazing, like the motion capture technology and the performances are for nothing.
Yeah, so. I agree. I'm cautiously optimistic that the game's going to turn out fine, if not really good, because of Quantic Dream's pedigree. And Heavy Rain, again, was a game where we forgave some of the problems with it because other parts of it were so good. You know, like we knew we weren't getting like this fluid. It didn't feel like Call of Duty or something. You know, like it was like very stiff and stuff, but it wasn't supposed to really control in any other way. You were experiencing it. So for sure, Beyond seems like more action-oriented, and so I do have like reservations about that. And I really have serious reservations about the story, but obviously we don't know everything about it yet. So.
And we saw a very small chunk. It was like maybe 20 minutes at most. I think it was probably even a little less than that. So it's like we're judging it based on a small portion. Maybe it's just one weird part. The game could be incredible still. We don't know.
Yeah. Then again, demos are usually the most polished part of the game at the time it's being shown.
Sure.
So. Anyway, the game comes out in October. It's exclusive on PlayStation 3. We'll have much more coverage for Beyond Two Souls in the coming months. Hopefully we'll get hands on it soon. Hopefully they'll let me invert the controls so I can actually play as Aiden and have an idea of what the hell I'm doing. Goldfarb, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Find us on Podcast Beyond every Tuesday here on IGN. Until next time, Beyond.
Beyond.